Welcome everyone. If you're new here, my name is Helen. This is my channel, Helen Avery. We review a lot of products and I do some vlogs and stuff like that too. So come along with me. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Isn't it hard to believe that it's almost Christmas? Where are the months going? I feel like yesterday it was summery and I was filming. I've been very busy this week putting up the Christmas decorations, putting up the Christmas lights on the outside of the house because no one wants to help me with this terrible task. It is not fun on an old house with everything chipping and flaking, but I got it done before the first snow falls. And now I'm just letting the Christmas vibes settle in. In a past video, I promised that if I got enough likes and subscribes that I would make a drugstore version of my favorites of the year, inexpensive stuff that I've been loving in 2024. So we will get to that. But so far this month has been amazing, but it's flying by. I have to try and work really hard to find time to make art, which is unusual for me. Usually it's just so easy for me to find that time because I'm so drawn to doing it. But you're not necessarily here for that. Maybe you're here for all the other good Christmassy stuff we're gonna talk about. Now, in terms of makeup, there's a few things I've really been enjoying this year and for years past as well. These are not new to me, but I did want to mention them because it just feels like the right thing to do after making a video about all the ridiculously expensive things I've acquired this year. Let me go get those items. I'll bring them to you. Okay, listen, this is my makeup, and the key thing to know about this is my strategy for staying kind of somewhat reasonable in the amount of makeup I have is I don't let this overflow. So when it starts to be too much, I know I've got to cut down. But anyway, you're here for the drugstore picks. Favorite, oh, this is not the right one. Okay, take that back. Okay, favorite foundation, can't live without this one. Is definitely worth picking up. Revlon's Colorstay Longwear. This is like $11 at Target. Can't go wrong with this. Leaves the face nice and dewy. That's not what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing exclusively Merit lately just because it's so easy to put on. You see me talk about that. And I swear I'm not going to be like, in the last video, in a previous video, in another video. I'm not like trying to tuck my own book, but I made videos on basically all the products that I've liked. So this is an inexpensive drugstore favorite. And the other, I don't know if I have it here, but let me look. Okay, it's not in there. I suspect it is actually downstairs. So let's have a look. Sort around in this mess. Okay, here it is. The other thing, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, I don't have a ton of drugstore makeup. This is my favorite, Love That Red. So now I'm out of breath from running up the stairs. This is Love That Red. Same as Fire and Ice. This is a Revlon lipstick. $7-ish bucks, $9-ish bucks, depending on where you live. Can't go wrong. One thing that always surprises me this time of year is just how dark it gets so early. The sun is going down now and it is only 4:30, but that's okay. That means it's time to put the Christmas lights on. So I'm gonna do that now. The eagle-eyed among you will notice I'm actually wearing a different winter jacket. I have a lot of them because I'm Canadian. This is just what we do. And there's one behind this wreath. Here it is. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So those lights are on and they'll be on until 10:30? I think 10:30. Bit of a carby hodgepodge dinner tonight. Got some leftover ravioli. This is some stir-fry broccoli, a piece of olive bread, and a good helping of hummus. Fed my Christmas tree her daily drink of water. Now I'm off to my Fiber Arts social group. This is what the house looks like. Not bad. And for context, it is only 6 p.m. Look how dark it is. It's so dark out here, but I got a new camera that I think allows you to see me. If going by what I see down below is any indication, this works really well in dark. So that's great. Hopefully you're hearing me well too. I did finally splurge on the wireless mic that I was threatening to get a few vlogs ago. The air is so crisp. There hasn't been any snow yet. A lot of people have their Christmas decorations up, so we love to see that. It's really pretty. I never film at night, and that's because I'm not out at night. That's funny. Good morning. I like to start a lot of mornings off with this drugstore routine. Not always, but oftentimes this is what I like to reach for, especially if my skin is feeling a bit dry. I love CeraVe's Hydrating Foaming Oil Cleanser. So after I wash with just a tiny dab of this, because you don't need a lot, and I mostly just concentrate in my eye area, for obvious reasons. After that, I like to do a swipe of CeraVe's hydrating micellar water. I'll put links to all this down below. This stuff's very affordable and it's kind of cult favorite stuff from dermatologists. I use that to mop up any of the rest of my remaining makeup because no matter how well I seem to wash the night before, I don't seem to get everything. So I love this hydrating micellar water for that. So when I'm not using my Merit products, I have a combo that I always use. One of these you can buy at the drugstore, but it's not affordable. That is Clinique's serum for dark spots. I kind of just use it because it's so pricey in the areas I think I need it most. And then my absolute all-time favorite is this La Roche-Posay Moisturizer, Cicaplast Baume B5. It is buttery thick, so I spread it on one thin layer and then oftentimes I'll even go in with a second layer. This provides a really nice base for makeup. Since I've purchased it, it's had a few more additions to the English labeling, which I find really interesting. When I bought it, it said very little. It just said it was like a cream for skin repair, but now it says it's a dimethicone cream. So that gives you some idea as to the ingredients. And it still says protects and relieves minor skin irritation and itching. So this is $20-ish where I am. I'm in Canada, so your prices may be a little bit lower. Easy to find at CVS, Walgreens, Target. I love this stuff, and you're gonna see how it goes on under the Revlon Longwear, which I'm going to show you next. So this is not going to be a tutorial, but I'm just going to zip through quickly all the things that I like to do in the morning with this drugstore stuff, which is mostly just this Revlon Longwear. I might use my fingers, I might use a brush. I'm not married to any particular way of using this foundation, just whatever I feel my skin needs. If I'm not wearing too much, I'll use my fingers to try and rub it in as best I can, and then I might go in with a brush to perfect and blend it out like this. Let's see. I try not to put foundation too deep into my hairline because, like many women, up here is a little bit darker. It's like maybe 2 skin tones darker. I just have this band of a warm color that is different. I don't know if that's just particular to Asian skin, but for that reason, I avoid putting any foundation up here and I'll just work a tiny bit up there. So this is how just the foundation looks, and I think it's quite nice. When it comes to makeup in your 40s, one key takeaway that has really held me in good stead so far is that every 5 years or so, I try and reevaluate what I'm using and how much I'm using. And I've just noticed kind of recently, I have to really tone down the amount of foundation. Even a year ago, I feel like I could wear more and it could look good. And now it's really just not settling as well. And that's okay. That's okay. I think it kind of looks fresher to not wear so much. But when I really started getting into makeup around the year 2017, you remember the beauty guru era, everything was like a lot of foundation, a lot of eyebrows, a lot of eyeshadow. I'm kind of glad we've gotten away from that. And I've also tried to, well, it's not that I've tried to, but the cool thing is that as a more minimal look is coming in, my face also suits a more minimal look. So that's a happy coincidence for me. Sometimes if I feel I've gone too far with the foundation, I will bring back a little bit of warmth and that different color in the top of my forehead because I actually think it looks nice. I think it's nice to have a different skin tones going on. I don't really want to look like my 90s self, which was kind of washed out with very matte foundation. So I'll dab on a little bit of Nudies Nude Buff from Nude Sticks. Just a very easy to use product that comes in a stick, a couple dabs in the forehead area, and then I'll just buff them out. And you know, 5 seconds later, I look a bit more like myself again. So I have Pilates later today, so no lipstick. I tell you, it is most definitely winter out here. I meant to bring my sunglasses, but with the hat and holding the camera and my gear for Pilates, it was just altogether too much. Sorry if it feels like I'm not making eye contact. I'm just still getting used to this camera. There's a little camera head up at the top and then below is a tiny screen, and I keep checking that I'm in the frame. Awkward. We are expecting ice and snow, I think, tonight. So some places have salted, as you can see here. This little cafe is decorated so cute. Let's have a look. This is a new cafe in my area, and look how sweet the decorations are. I'm loving this pink theme and so much greenery. This is very much my aesthetic. If I had my way, everything would be pink and green, of course. So we're in the drugstore. It's a few minutes before Pilates class starts. You would not believe our drugstore prices here, but we do have good sales. So here's some of the CeraVe products. Look how much, 26 bucks here, but you can get it for cheaper. You just have to wait for a sale. Here's my micellar water, also $22.99. That's a lot. I got these for like, I don't know, around 10 bucks when I was at Target in the US. So prices in there are absolutely extortionate. I'm sure if you've been to your local pharmacy, it's the same way. The way they get you though is with really good sales that have like loss leaders. And that's what keeps you coming back for more. Also, it's just convenient. It's not far from where I live. We're approaching my Pilates now. Somebody's hammering up on a balcony. And I can't take you in because the Pilates ladies will murder me. But I will show you the outside. Right, Club Pilates. This is where I'll be for the next hour. See you later. Right, home now after class. Outfit of the day is my blue shirt and this gray cashmere that I wear a lot of, jeans, and this silk scarf to keep my neck warm. This is my secret, wearing something up around the neck when it's windy and cold out. Sitting down to paint is always the best part of my day. When I don't get to paint, it is kind of puts me in a bad mood. I don't know how else to describe it. I am painting. Actually, I don't really know what this is. Maybe I'd almost say it's a hydrangea, but it's not. I can see that it's not, and it almost looks like a foxglove, but I also am not too sure. Anyway, it's a cone-shaped flower with a lot of great yellowy green in the top and purple, which is great because I bought some amazing new purples. Unfortunately, I've acquired a bit of an art supply purchasing habit, but I figure there are worse vices. Don't let anyone tell you that watercolor's easy. I don't find that it is. I find it's actually more challenging. You have to let go of control, and that can be very hard, especially as a beginner artist. You just don't exactly know where that water's gonna go, which can be kind of a little frustrating. And you kind of don't get to go back on it, unlike oil, where you can layer it up. So if you think I'm some sort of naturally artistic person, I'm not. I wouldn't even really describe myself as a visual person. I'm a words first, visuals second kind of person, but it's weird. In the spring, I just woke up and thought, you know, I want to create art. I don't know why. Like, I haven't really been into art since I was a kid. I just felt this urge. It's kind of strange. However, it's been extremely rewarding. It gives me time to quieten what's going on in my head, just to make something really nice. Kind of like therapy in a way, you know? Ooh, I do not like how that turned out, but it will. Just keep moving forward when that does happen. Buds, I guess, will make this into buds. I'm not entirely happy with this. This happens sometimes, and I have learned to just let it go. It's okay. This is a sketchbook. It's okay for things to be imperfect. We're trying things, we're pushing ourselves. That is the purpose of keeping a sketchbook as opposed to making a painting. Ooh, yeah, I don't like that at all. But it's okay. Very impressionistic. I'm gonna let that dry now. Okay, if you want to see the finished product, these orange slices I was working on, this of course, and then not too much. This is a pretty new sketchbook for me, and it's big. I like it. Another thing I like to do is practice drawing every day. If I don't get to it during the daytime, I'll do it after dinner. When I started to do watercolor, I really realized that if I was going to be happy with my work, I had to learn how to draw, which I did not know how to do at all. And it's been difficult. It's hard to train yourself to draw as a new skill, but so worth it. It's very gratifying now to see like a flower and be able to draw it, have an idea of something like a Christmas wreath and be able to sketch it out. These were not skills I had before April of this year, so if I can, you can too, seriously. My style is still quite cartoony, but it's improving. I just love setting aside a bit of time every day to work on some drawing. I've been loving these Japanese Sailor fountain pens. They're reasonably priced. I always thought that fountain pens were very expensive. I don't know why I thought this, probably because they were once upon a time very expensive, but you can get these at most art stores, or I'm sure you can get them online. They make really nice gifts if you know someone who loves fountain pens. They're very scratchy on the paper though, so if you have someone who doesn't mind a scratchy feel, they're very nice. They're, I'm sure, around $12. This is my favorite one. It's the 45-degree angle one. That is, I think, brown. And then there's a green one. I would say don't get this green one unless the person is into art. This green one makes very wide strokes that are kind of hard to control. There's a big learning curve with this one, but with this one, no problem at all. I use these every day. My two favorite drawing tools, these Sailor pens. Not to go on a pen nerd tangent, but I used to think you had to refill them all. You don't. You can just buy these little cartridges and you just shove the cartridge in. And it's very easy, very convenient, and not messy, because I remember them being really messy when I was in high school, and it's not like that anymore. They've definitely perfected. I mean, they probably did back then. It's probably just what I happen to own, but so good. Like, I'll never go back, I don't think. Really enjoy these. For drawing. For writing, maybe not so much. There's still a bit of a learning curve. Here, I'll show you. fun little recipe for you, but before that, I got something to show you. It snowed. I woke up to a bit of snow, and unfortunately it's also windy. But look. So what happened was I got to thinking, I don't love making breakfast. I'm kind of struggling to think of what to eat in the mornings because I'm just not that hungry. I've never been. I've always been that way. So I tried to remember back something that I enjoyed that was kind of light that could keep me going without me having to make an actual breakfast. And that was bulletproof coffee. But I found bulletproof coffee too heavy. So I've developed this recipe instead. Let me show you. The main thing you need is unsalted butter, and you also need milk. And I'm sorry if this milk in a bag horrifies you if you've never seen this before. This is how we do it in Canada. Hopefully you can hear me over the kettle, which is also boiling. And you need some way to agitate these. Now I have a milk frother, but if you don't have this, you would typically put it in a blender and blend it all up. You have your hot coffee. You need a bit of butter. I mean, whatever to your taste is. I probably use the equivalent of about a teaspoon. Shave a bit off. I keep it in the fridge. Just drop this in. Looks like that. You see the butter's already melting because the coffee was hot. Add a bit of milk. This is, I think, 2%. In Canada, we use more milk than cream. When I was in California at the Starbucks, I couldn't find any milk on the counter. They had cream and I can't remember what else, but no milk. Because milk, the kind you would put in your cereal, is typically what we would have as an option for coffee. I have this milk frother. It's just from Amazon. I just press the button and it shakes it all up, makes it frothy. So with that all foamed up, let's have a look. It's all foamy and frothy and the butter's all dispersed. Then I just pour it into this coffee. Then this is kind of my breakfast, you know. It keeps me going, and I would describe it as a kind of creamy, soft coffee. There's no harshness. It takes out any harshness of the coffee. I told my husband to try it. He was very skeptical. He thought it was going to be terrible. The key is using unsalted butter. It would be terrible if you use salted butter. It would be salty coffee, which actually doesn't sound that bad. But anyway, he tried it and he's like, oh, it's like a cross between coffee and tea. He drinks his tea with quite a bit of milk. So there you have it. But he didn't think it was terrible, which surprised me. Of course, many cultures around the world drink their coffee with some sort of fat or butter in it. I didn't invent this, but I have been tweaking the recipe to get it to my liking. I've got another great drugstore pick for you. I don't know if this is available everywhere, but if it isn't and you're in Canada, pick this up. It's called Revlon Ultra HD Snap. This is the best quick nail polish ever. You can put it on and it's great for like if you're going to a party and you only have 10 minutes to put on nail polish and you need it to dry. It's not the glossiest. So if you're used to that glossy finish and you get gel nails, you'll find that this has a much more matte look. But if you're okay with that, pick this stuff up. Revlon makes so many great products. They make great nail polish. They make great lipstick, which is no surprise. They've been making them since, I don't know, the 1930s or something like that. So I don't know how much this nail polish costs, but I'm gonna say it's around 10 bucks. You can get it on sale sometimes too. Let's do the other hand. And it is really one coat. So I don't know how long that took me. 20 seconds? That said, I have quite a bit of experience putting on nail polish, so it's so dim in here though. I wish there was more light. That's the downside of these snowy days. They are very gray. I don't think anybody ever realizes that. It doesn't tend to be snowy here and bright. It's either snow and then it's gray because it's the clouds that make snow, or it's clear and very cold. For what it's worth, I've also had these bottles absolutely forever. I have 3 of them. I think this is maybe year 3. And you know, nail polish, if you keep it in a cold, darkish place, lasts probably forever. I know people buy vintage nail polishes. So yeah, this one is called Berry Blessed. Can that be right? Berry Blissed. Okay, that's better. You guys, I'm at the reading glasses stage of things now, so that's how it looks. Let's move this sketchbook out of the way. So while that's gonna dry, and that's only gonna take a few minutes tops, maybe a little longer because I put it accidentally a little thick on one nail, while I wait, I'll just read some email because just touching the mouse is not gonna mess up my nail polish, and if I have to do the odd little bit of typing using the pads in my fingers, I'm good. Oh, low scent, like not too much fumes come out of this. Probably because it's quick dry, it's formulated so that the fumes evaporate really quickly. Because some nail polishes, if you know, you smell them. Even when you're going to bed at night, you can still smell them. So I don't love that. So I love these quick ones. They say that they're drying. I've never found this particular one. And I have different colors to ever make my nails more dry than they normally would be. They're pretty dry as it is. It's the first snow of the season and it's so nice. Ooh, it never gets old for me. I do love snow in December. And for the record, this is the only month I find snow acceptable. After December, I'm over it. Come January, I don't want it to be winter anymore, but winter's just starting. The reason for a parka, by the way, if you didn't know, This one's a little too big. It's falling down into my face. But the reason for it is this fur, or fake fur in my case, catches the snow before it hits your eyes. Also catches the wind. It's like a wind muffler or a wind muff for your face. Such a smart invention. So when it's kind of snowy and I feel like windy and snow is going to blow my face, if you wear this, it catches a lot of it before it hits you. A rare moment of quiet on this main street before more traffic and trams and everything noisy starts to pass. Everything looks so different covered in snow, right? It's frosty, it's windy, but it's still beautiful to be outside. I'm going to show you some nice houses. I always look at these. Do you see them? They're like these 3 beautiful, huge houses up on this hill. We're heading to the grocery store, which is across the street there. It's called Loblaws. Not my usual grocery store. It's very pricey and a little further from my home. There we go. I love watching people bring their shopping carts on this escalator. Let's see if I can find, because it makes it stick. Something with the wheels, they stick to the escalator. Ready-made food. I'm not feeling any of this. This is the fancy grocery store if you have not picked up on that, and it's huge. Why am I here? You ever come into a grocery store and then without a list your mind slips? Loblaws is really well known for its packaged, pre-prepared fridge food, a bit like Trader Joe's, I guess, but not as good, obviously. Oh, pork buns, a lot of nice pizzas. This used to be in plastic, they switched to a box. That's interesting. Let's see the prices. $12.99 for these, and $11.99 for, oops, wrong way, for these. It may be weird to complain about abundance, but I find this grocery store has too much stuff and it takes forever to shop in here for that reason. Nice problems to have, I guess. Look, they have the nail polish we were talking about earlier, $9.49. Okay, that's still a good price, you know? Here we go. Well, that's enough of that. Whew, 2 kilometers round trip, and I'm very glad to be back inside. Oh, it's nice and warm in here. Time for lunch now. I'm doing my best Mr. Rogers impression by slipping on the old cardigan. My hair got really messy, so I'm gonna redo that. Give you a bit of a tip while we're at it. Okay, now excuse me while I change my pants, because that I am not willing to do in front of you. I wanted to clarify my hair, so I made the critical mistake of using some drugstore shampoo, and now my hair is completely dry and frizzy. Then I'm gonna put on these gloves. I will reuse them, I promise, but I'm gonna use some Olaplex in my hair. There's no reason this can't touch your hair, or your hands, I mean. It's that I don't like the smell of this, but it's very effective. But I don't want it to go into my hand right before I'm gonna eat lunch. I am that person. I'm a bit like scent sensitive. It doesn't give me a migraine. I just don't want to sniff this. But I like to just work this in. What is this, you may ask? It is just the sample size of Olaplex number 8 Bond Intense Mask. And the way you're supposed to use it is, I think, wash your hair and then put it in, or put it in then quickly wash your hair, but you can just leave it in too. There's no reason you can't just put it in your hair, braid it if your hair's long enough, and sleep on it, and then wash your hair. So that is what I'm gonna do. Okay, already it's softer. And now my hands don't smell like Olaplex. This one isn't that bad, but in general, I do not like the smell of Olaplex. Like, I am picky about what scents I will allow in my hair because it is like perfume. You have to smell it all day. And if you don't like it, that's not good. So there we go. Whatever's left in my gloves, I'll just use to tamp down these little flyaways. And I think that looks and feels pretty good. And I will save these for later. Do you remember at the beginning, did you see that I put this doll here? This is what I used to call a Monchichi monkey. And maybe I'm not saying that right because I guess technically it's Monchichi. This isn't actually from my youth. This is one I purchased not that long ago because they were selling them again. But I had two of these dolls when I was young. I'd say maybe 5 or 6. I had 2 of them and they're just very nostalgic. If you're a Generation X person, I'm sure you remember having one of these and you can stick the sucker. Okay, I've got the camera following her now. This is so funny. Okay. Right. The other thing that's happening is I think I'm going to return this camera. I had really high hopes that I would love it. It is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and everybody's losing their minds over this camera. I'm just sitting down to do some embroidery right now. I'm finding it exceptionally hard to use in some circumstances, not least of which is that the screen is very, very tiny. But not just that, it's struggling a lot with focus hunting. So when I'm trying to shoot outwards, like it's really good at grabbing onto my face, but it's not good anytime I turn it around and I want to shoot just like some art that I'm doing or some embroidery. The focus kind of punches in and out. So it's like not able to, it doesn't know what I want to focus on. Not to mention some other problems that I think that are definitely not because I don't know how to use it, because I spent a lot of time and energy trying to get to grips with all the different features, the functions, the settings, resolutions. It just ain't all that, even though people profess to absolutely love it. I do worry that we're in this sort of strange hype cycle where products that are just not that good just get all this hype. So that's pretty bad that my iPhone is actually much better. My iPhone always catches focus. That's never a problem. But anyway, I don't want to go on some weird photography rant when this is not what this channel is all about, but I'm like just disappointed that I spent all this time and energy invested in learning how to use this device and it's just really fallen far below my expectations. I just wanted to find something really easy for vlogging and this ain't it. Another funny thing though is that they have this app that helps you sort of AI enhance your footage. And it's so funny because there's this like glamour option where you can put it on or you can put it off. And this glamour thing is basically like a filter, not unlike what you would see on Instagram and what they currently have on TikTok. They have a lot of different features to make you look glowed up, I guess. But because this is a Chinese product, the beauty standards in this filter are for the Chinese market. They're not for the Western market. And so what do I mean by that? I mean, you can enhance all these different things. It's crazy. You can enhance your lips. You can enhance your eyes and have like less bags under your eyes. You can brighten your skin. You can smooth. You can, this, that, and the other. But they're not made for the Western market, which cracks me up so much because if you do lips, if you want to enhance your lips and make them better, the hilarious thing about this app is that in China, I don't know if you know this, in China, it's not fashionable to have like these like pouty baby lips. It's fashionable to have more thin lips. So it actually thins your lips. So when you're enhancing your lips, it doesn't make you have like, the trout pout big lips. It actually makes them skinnier. I find that so funny. And the other thing that kind of disturbs me about it is this, like I think brightening is the first feature that they offer, which makes you more white, I think, which says a lot about colorism, even in China in 2024. Whiter is still better. So like whatever, that's neither here nor there in a way. It's just kind of a funny thing that I've noticed. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not into that. Okay, let me show you what I'm working on. Okay, so hopefully this will explain the issue that I'm having. So I don't know if this will hold focus. And by the way, what this is an ornament. I made one, you might have seen them at the beginning. I made one for Niall, I made one for Killian. I did not make one for myself. And my husband said, well, where's your ornament? And I'm like, I didn't make one for myself. He's like, really? So he sounded so disappointed that I'm actually making one. Not really because I want one so much as that it just seems right for each of us, I guess, to have our own customized ornament. But anyhow, I freehand drew this. So I'm kind of proud of the pattern. I think it's gonna be cute. There's the H. And then I drew some flowers and some twigs and some holly around it. But yeah, next vlog, I'll probably be either back to my smartphone or maybe I'll have acquired a different camera to test out by then. Just really frustrating all around. And here's the thing, you can't say anything. Like I could never make a standalone video about just my problems with this. People will go crazy. These like wannabe professional photographer, videographer types have too many opinions and they will jump all over you if you don't like what they say about their favorite products. It's so ridiculous. It's like when you try and criticize a Tesla or something like that, you just get a certain cohort of these complete ding-dongs, just like, you don't know how to use it. Oh, what a Karen. All this kind of stuff. So I can't even make a video criticizing this if I wanted to. You know what though? Live and let learn. Let them vlog with it and see how they like it. Not my problem. So evening is falling. I had a nice afternoon of work. I did some video editing, which is also part of the reason why I want to return this camera. When you see it on a nice big screen, you're like, This footage does not, I mean, it's fine. It's not worth the money, especially not if it's gonna lose focus, where that never happened in years and years of using my iPhone. What are we doing here? But that's okay, I can return it and get my money back, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get ready for dinner soon, and that's it, really. A couple of cozy days at home. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure that I'm gonna vlog again before Christmas happens, especially now that I don't have a camera and I have to go back to my smartphone or go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time embroidering. I have some watercolor to do because, you know, I like to paint every day, and I'll probably push the drawing to after dinner. That's what I've been up to these cozy winter days. I may not see you here in this format until the new year. So I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if we do not chat until then, and we will see you on the next video. Look how chubby this guy's getting. Let's have a look. Holy smokes. What are you eating now? Holy.